The Kirby character and series has been a staple of the Nintendo brand ever since the 1990s, alongside popular characters like Mario, Luigi, and Link from the Legend of Zelda series. But what if we told you there were secrets about Kirby Nintendo doesn't want you knowing? Well, that's the case for today's video, as we're going to be counting down our list of the top 10 secrets about Kirby Nintendo doesn't want you knowing. Now, drop a like on today's video if you're a fan of Kirby. Also, don't forget to enable our post notifications and ring that bell to never miss new content from Trending 10 when it goes live on the channel. Well guys, with that all said, let's get right into the video. Number 10. Kirby Blood and Gore. Now, Nintendo games are well known for being family-friendly games any kid or adult can enjoy, with most, if not all, Nintendo releases being censored to keep games family-friendly to get an E for everyone rating from their games from the ESRB. In most Nintendo games like Mario, for example, when you die, Mario would just shrug and fall off the screen. But this is far from the case with Kirby's Dream Land 3, which actually featured quite a bit of blood and gore in the final boss battle of the game. Now, in the boss battle, you would fight against a giant floating eyeball known as Zero. Now, when the eyeball is weakened during the boss battle, your character hits will slowly show and spew blood from the enemy eyeball, before eventually the entire pupil detaches with a massive burst of blood. Now, in Nintendo games, we can expect some censorship, but in the case of this boss battle in Kirby's Dream Land 3, it was like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Despite all the blood and gore of this boss battle, the game actually even released to an E for everyone rating by the ESRB, although future releases of the game would actually receive a T for teen rating from the ESRB. Number 9. Kirby hates Link. Kirby is and has been quite a popular character for Nintendo alongside such classics as Mario as well as Link from the Legend of Zelda franchise. But did you know that Kirby and Link have actually crossed paths and collided well before Super Smash Bros? Well, in 1993, with the release of Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, you'd play your way through, slashing your regular foes as Link, exploring and making your way through quite a few dungeons. But actually, in one of the game's castle missions, when you make your way down one hall, you'll come across a quite familiar looking character, who, you guessed it, is Kirby. But make sure when you come across Kirby to definitely keep your distance from him, as he is in no way a friendly NPC in the game. Kirby, when close, will actually swallow Link whole and do quite a lot of damage to your character. Luckily, after a few hits and slashes from the sword, Kirby can be defeated. This version of Kirby and Link's Awakening was very poorly received by the fans of the Kirby games, and as well, it was commonly referred to as anti-Kirby. Now, Kirby only shows up once in the game to torment Link, but still, this evil version of Kirby in the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening didn't sit quite well with the fan base behind the Kirby franchise. Number 8. Angry Kirby. Marketing for video games is a key element in getting the word out about a game and its release with advertising. For the Japanese release of the Kirby games, Kirby has always had a big happy smile on his face, projecting a very happy, positive attitude. Well, this is certainly not the case with the covers and game marketing for the Kirby games released in North America. On multiple Kirby game covers released in North America, Kirby's big happy smile has actually been replaced with Kirby having a very stern, angry, serious face. As well, on top of all this, he also changes his body poses on the North American game covers. A very good example of these changes in Kirby's mood comes from the cover for the game Kirby Air Ride, released on the GameCube. Another good example being the cover for Kirby's Epic Yarn, which actually featured a happy Kirby for once. Now, going back to Angry Kirby, for the release of the Super Nintendo, a massive marketing campaign actually featured a print ad mugshot of Kirby, even equipped with a full 5 o'clock shadow to promote the game Kirby's Avalanche and Kirby's Dream Course on the Super Nintendo. Number 7. German Detective Kirby. When Nintendo games are typically released, they are adapted for cultural differences and usually slightly altered. But in the case for Kirby, in print for the German edition of Nintendo Fan Club, Kirby was actually introduced as a German detective who would oftentimes be seen smoking as well as drinking on occasion in the dark noir style Kirby comic. As well, in the comic, you can even see a dead female corpse. As well, the German Nintendo comic even reveals and introduces Susie, Kirby's female counterpart, who was actually never even introduced or appeared in the actual Kirby games. She looks exactly identical to Kirby in all ways, but has a pink bow on her head. The full Nintendo comic was released back in 1996. Now, the German magazine which featured this comic wasn't actually released outside of Germany, but thanks to the internet, we've got our hands on this German detective adaptation of Kirby. Number 6. Meta Knight. Meta Knight has been one of Kirby's greatest foes for over the span of the Kirby franchise. Who even is Meta Knight? Meta Knight is rarely seen without his iron mask, but in the rare case Meta Knight loses his iron mask, we can actually see that he's a black and or blue clone of the pink Kirby we know and love today. Even though we've seen Meta Knight not donning his iconic mask, there is still quite a lot we don't know about this mysterious Nintendo character. Even though Meta Knight is Kirby's enemy, he's actually helped Kirby out quite a bit before, and since he so closely resembles Kirby, could they be related? Or is the Meta Knight just an evil clone of some sort? The mystery is still unsolved and grows with every new game installment in the series year after year. Number 5. Super Smash OP Kirby and Meta Knight. Now, speaking of Meta Knight, for the halfway point on today's video, we've got the fact that Kirby and Meta Knight are being overpowered in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. The Super Smash Bros. Series is insanely popular and fun for being one of Nintendo's greatest and most innovative franchises, crossing their popular series and characters such as Mario, Star Fox, and even Pokemon, as well as characters from the Kirby games. Now, you would think that Kirby and Meta Knight wouldn't be that powerful in Smash Bros. With the likes of Pokemon, Samus, and Donkey Kong, but you would be wrong. When it comes to the character stats and performance charts, you can find Kirby and Meta Knight to be quite powerful top tier players in Super Smash Bros. As well, in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Meta Knight is so powerful that he's even put into his own tier. As well, Meta Knight is so strong and powerful in Brawl that during tournaments, Meta Knight is actually banned, as the character was so overpowered in the game. Now, the creator of Kirby and the Kirby games, Masahiro Sakura, is actually one of the lead developers on Super Smash Bros. So we think the Kirby character's high stats was an intentional move on their part with the game. Number 4. Kirby size difference. Now, Kirby is well known to be the small pink character who bloats up while swallowing enemies whole, while in Kirby's regular form, he is known to only be about 8 inches tall. This short Kirby character design works for his main games in the Kirby franchise, but it raises a lot of questions and eyebrows for games like Super Smash Bros. Like we said earlier, Kirby is one of the most powerful characters in the Super Smash Bros. Game, so if Kirby only stands to be 8 inches tall, how can he be so powerful in the Super Smash Bros. Series? Now, the size comparison of Kirby when next to other characters is quite noticeable. We believe this size change has something to do intentionally with the game's developers to give Kirby a bigger hitbox to other players when fighting Kirby and Meta Knight, as like we said earlier in this video, Kirby and Meta Knight are so powerful and they are one of the most overpowered players in the Super Smash Bros. Series. Now, despite Kirby's form, he's undoubtedly one of Nintendo's most classic characters. Number 3. Hidden adult Easter eggs. Easter eggs are very common to come across and find in video games. While Nintendo is not shy about putting references and Easter eggs in their popular franchises. But what if we told you that Nintendo sneaked in some adult Easter eggs in their games? In the 1995 release of Kirby's Dream Land 2 on the Game Boy, which had an E for Everyone rating by the ESRB, the game actually had an adult Easter egg in one of the game's stages. In level 5-5 of the game, you can actually access a secret door that will drop you down into a bonus level. If you go through the secret level, you'll actually find platform blocks scattered across the map. If you keep falling down, you will notice a pattern, which starts off innocent enough with a smile. But if you keep going down further and you'll notice a woman's chest, but go down further and you'll find the rest of the woman's lower region. Now, this is nothing too crazy. Back in 1995, this was quite a revealing and racy hidden Easter egg for our young eyes. Now, a full version release of Kirby's Dream Land 2 was actually re-released on the Nintendo 3DS, in which you could still travel to level 5-5 and find this hidden adult Easter egg to this day. Number 2. Kirby's gun violence. Now, like we stated earlier in this video, with the North American releases of the game covers for the Kirby series, we can see a very angry looking Kirby holding a sword. But what if we told you that Kirby's used guns before? Kirby is well known for sucking his enemies in, swallowing them whole. As well, in the newer games, Kirby even has the ability to mimic other characters' powers for his own while swallowing them. While using weapons like tools and a sword, he's never actually showcased with a gun in the game. If you've watched Kirby Right Back at You, which is actually an animated series based around Kirby, you'll notice him actually use a gun. In one of the episodes, we can actually see Kirby use and hold a gun, and he's quite trigger happy, I must say. This episode was quite heavily edited and censored down for international releases of the episode. Along with this gun violence, in another episode, we can even see another famous Kirby character wielding and using a chainsaw as a weapon. On top of all this weapon violence in the episodes of this animated series, we can even find in some episodes the characters to actually even be day drinking. Now this doesn't really help Kirby's case here. Number 1, Kirby beats Mario. Nintendo is well known for their unique, original, dynamic characters in video games. When you think of Nintendo, what character do you think of? Usually people instantly will think about Mario when it comes to Nintendo, as the Mario Bros series has been a staple of the Nintendo license, as the characters and series has been insanely popular and won many awards, making it a true staple for Nintendo. With the popularity of Mario, you'd think that would definitely overshadow characters like Kirby, Link, Luigi, and Donkey Kong. But this wasn't the case in 1993. Back in the 80s and 90s, Nintendo actually released the official Nintendo Power magazine. Every year in the magazine, they would actually publish an accolade of awards of Nintendo games and characters, known as the Nintendo Power Awards. Some categories of the awards feature Best Hero, Best Sounding Graphics, Most Innovative Game, and many more. Now, with Kirby's NES debut back in 1993, Kirby was nominated actually for the award for Best Hero, among other nominees such as Mario, Link, Batman, and even Luke Skywalker. Now, Kirby actually took home and won the Best Hero award that year. Well guys, that is going to conclude our video of the secrets Nintendo doesn't want you knowing about Kirby. If you guys like Kirby and enjoy the games, make sure to drop a like on today's video. As well, don't forget to turn on our post notifications so you never miss new videos from Trending 10 when they go live on the channel. Well guys, with that all said, I'll see you in the next video.